I never binge watch things. I usually disapprove of binge watching, and I don't have the attention span to want to do it usually anyway. But today I found myself having the compulsion to watch 3 episodes in a row of Agent Carter, which I've been watching recently. So I finished off the first series of that, and that's what I've been watching, you know. I noticed Tom Scott's made a new video, so I'm certainly going to be watching that. But who knows, maybe we'll watch some Lucas as well. We can usually find some good entertainment from Lucas. Oh, okay, that's... Right, okay. Now that should keep all the words in. I noticed there that they were somewhat out of the frame, and guess what has just happened? Some pretty exciting antics. That's right. What a username. Becky the Promiscuous Female has subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much for giving your Twitch Prime subscription to me, because as regards your username, you can't be promiscuous with a Twitch Prime subscription. Not at least within the month, right? You have to decide one person to give it to, and I'm honoured that you've decided to give your Twitch Prime subscription to me. So thank you. Indeed. So there we go. So yeah, that was the that was my watching habits today. I've also been catching up on a little bit of university work, and you'd think that would make me sound productive. I'm not. I've actually been quite sad today because of how unproductive and faffy I've been. But you know, hopefully, sort of getting myself together towards the end of the day, right? Yes, that was the one. Reggie, why did you choose that silly picture of Michael Gove coming across your screen in past videos to resemble angry viewers? Quite simply because, and I usually don't express opinions on people in politics, but I have said this before, I don't like Michael Gove. He was the one who introduced the new examination system of 9-to-1 GCSEs, which are a completely unnecessary and harmful addition of difficulty to a series of exams that already pushed people to their intellectual limits and unreasonably far beyond them. So it's just quite contemptible in that respect. People in education circles largely dislike him, so simply I just put someone I disapprove of as the face of angry attitudes that I disapprove of or wanted to pay very little respect to. So it's just a sort of, it's a like for like kind of thing, really. I mean, I can balance out, you know, I can say I don't entirely, you know, 100% dislike Michael Gove for the same reason that you shouldn't 100% entirely dislike anyone. You should separate what they do well from what they don't do well, and, you know, as far as I could see, he did well as an environment minister, but absolutely contemptibly as an education minister, and, you know, made the majority of the majority of people after my year's GCSEs more difficult. Forgetting my own GCSEs, I was in the lucky position, semi-lucky, of only having maths and English as those 9-to-1 GCSEs, but that was horrendous enough. What cat are you going for at the moment? A Ruin? Yeah, bang on. You're absolutely bang on there. We're quite far away from it, so at the moment it's just trying to push through these levels and seeing where we'll get. But that is the ultimate aim, to get to a Ruin and see if we can comfortably tutorial it or not. Before then, we've got some problems. Up after this subchapter is Volcanos Volcano, which contains some absolute antics. So we'll probably be fine. We're like Crazed Dragon, but who knows. Oh, it was alright actually. I've got some strange kind of tea that I didn't buy, I don't know, discovered it like a sort of prop in a horror movie or something. And it's like a flower that you pour hot water onto, and it sort of blossoms within your cup, making a kind of sort of tea. And my blood there was swallowing one of the flowers. But, you know, it wasn't actually too bad. But it came as quite a surprise, you know, suddenly just inhaling some flower. Well, you know, it wasn't inhaling, and it was a flower. Right, Mooths. That means dosh. Absolute dosh. Let's take advantage of that. Especially their weak moves. After Crazed Lizard, this is very welcome. Oh, look at that. Look at those stacks. Fat money. Do you use Siege Hippo for grinding tickets? I do, right? Sometimes. And that's annoying because just you've said that actually, that reminds me that I forgot to do the one today, even though I have notifications set on for cat ticket stages. Yes, I do. Because they guarantee a ticket each time, and guaranteeing any number of tickets is fine enough for me. And tickets are useful, and 400 energy is decent trade-off. Obviously you do better for facing danger and even better for Cybear's Vengeance, but the guaranteeing of a ticket is perfectly fine enough for me. Obviously avoid Love Metal Hippo if you could do any of the levels after it, because not guaranteeing a ticket and costing 250 energy is obscene. But as soon as it guarantees one ticket, that's fine by me, you know. I'm happy for that. Breezing through these levels, I'm liking it. Oh, it's actually quite nice, this Blossoming Light tea it's called or something. Again, no idea where I got it from. Probably some ancient curse. I'm back to end the first act, which is like the end of the stream, like with an arm growing out my head or something. I mean, I just got that directly from watching Gravity Falls today. That's not an original idea at all. Even though, you know, it sounds pretty weird and original. It's definitely not. What crazed cat do I get first? I'd definitely recommend getting yourself the crazed cat first. And if you like, I've done a tutorial on quite a few of the crazeds in my Battle Cats Beginner's Guide on my channel. So there we go. Oh, blissful, easy levels, it's what we like. It's good stuff. And I should have been way past this point in Stories of Legend earlier, to be fair. Because if any of these levels were going to cause difficulty to people earlier on in the guide, I would have no idea now, because maybe not so much power creep, but definitely unit creep. Look at them owlbrows. Spooky boys. Spooky boys of the night. Causing me trouble. Not too much trouble though. We've got some absolute damage to remedy all of that. Bye bye. Whoop. Sink you all together slightly further away from my base. When is Beginner's Guide going into the future, Chapter 3? Like now. That's a side priority to this Stories of Legend stuff. I want to see how far we can get with this, but otherwise I will be doing at least one video on, like, make your way through into the future Chapter 3, because you will need the following treasures. Probably the ones definitely against the aliens for the last bit of Into the Future, but to coincide with the Ruran, what, we're going to need anti-red treasures, anti-black treasures, they're both in a Ruran, am I correct in saying? So yeah, you'll definitely need to get that far at the same time to maximise your chances, because it's not going to be easy. It's definitely not going to be an easy one, the older Ruran. Oh, my flower has really blossomed. Petals look like cauliflower. I think it's a couple of years past its best, to be fair, but it's alright. I say that, but I have this memory the last time I drank this tea, I had a very sore throat the next day. But
it was all worth it. The tea tasted alright when I first drank it.
I'm stuck on Chapter 3 Moon. Every time I use Jizo, he dies straight away, even though he's meant to be the best in the game, so am I just bad? I mean, you're not paying attention to ranges, right? Here's the thing. Actually, Jizo might have enough range, so I'm not sure if I'm talking correctly there, but use meat shields is definitely a useful piece of advice. Another useful piece of advice would be, please look up the Battle Cats Beginner's Guide. The guide for early game players, which includes Chapter 3. Just for you and for other people in the same situation. Guides that should help you to get through all of that. I can't remember Jizo's range, but it's always a good thing to... I'm going to say 2 good things to do in relation to what you've said there. First good thing to do is to never say this is the best unit in Battle Cats. Battle Cats is a situational game, and so that makes units that are great in some places bad in others. Case in point, for example, Awakened Bahamut Cat. Fantastic for whacking off damage to something that doesn't attack particularly often. However, absolutely useless against something like a Master A, Professor A, or reasonably fast attacking Cyclone. So don't think about what's best in the game, because that's just a poor way of thinking if you want to succeed in the game. You've got to think about the situation. Second thing, not get your treasures, to do the range it was, yes. The Battlecats wiki has stat tables for all units, I reckon, probably, most of them at least, including the enemies. So, yeah, okay. So, from Immortal Nyanko, it said here, 320 is Jizo's range. So, they're just sort of arbitrary numbers. They only matter sort of in relation to each other. Bun's range is 300. Jizo's range is 320. That means if you meet shield in front of Jizo, Jizo will outrange Bun and you'll have a lovely time on that level. Thank you, low power mode. Gave me a little fright there, thank you. Not that anyone ever texts me, but sod's law they would now while I'm streaming. The point is that you should look up... Bun's range is 200. Oh, crikey, okay, correction. 200 then. You have an even better time with Jizo on that level. The point is, look up the stats tables on the wiki when you're not sure if a unit will work. Broadly in Battle Cats, the rule is, which is why I have a little copy and paste message saying the rule of thumb is, if a unit outranges the enemy, probably use it. And you can check that in the wiki. Check the range of the unit, and if it's bigger than the range of the enemy, success! You win! Meet shield in front of your unit. The only time it doesn't work is if you're encountering something like a wave unit. Your first notable one is what? Crazed Titan? So, you know, you've got a little while yet. So, yeah. Principally, though, to you, please do have a look at the Battle Cats Beginner's Guide, because it is made expressly to help you and others in your similar situation, and gives more in-depth advice than I can here. Why are you using your beginner account? Because, indeed, this is the beginner account. I am moving forward in Stories of Legend expressly for the purpose of getting to Aruran, to fight that in a later episode of this final beginner guide series, because it's a good unit that sets players up for the future with a nice sort of no gacha, stereotypically Uber-like unit. Do you think it's possible to beat any craze stage before completing Empire Cats Moon 3? No idea. I mean, like, probably. Definitely like Craze Cat if you happen to have rolled Meg Aphrodite. You're sold, aren't you? But Battle Cats is situational, right? That's the point of it. It's not logical rules like that you can say, logically, you can only do this after this. The only logical things in place are like things like you can only do Manix after beating all of the craze stages because it physically blocks you otherwise. Otherwise, there is nothing stopping you, right? I've suggested an order to do things in, but it's not the order. It's infinite numbers of orders for infinite numbers of things that work, right? Wop, 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 wop. Oh, by the way, where are the wobs? Where are the wobs in chat? Where are the wobs? You have more cat food on this account than my main. The reason for that is because, well, I'm not regularly spending the cat food, except for those stacks of continues he goes through. Filthy continue user, am I right? Because, obviously, I'd only be using cat food to roll gacha, and I don't want to use gacha in the tutorials, so I don't have much cause for using my cat food on this account. There we go. You're not playing a song that has wobs. I don't think you're listening intently enough. That or it's not loud enough. There were some obscene wobs in this song. It was like, wah, wah, wah. Not like a duck, but like a duck step within it. There were some fierce wobs. Fierce wobs. Absolutely fierce wobs. Is it bad? The only way I beat the crazy stages is by trying to stack Cyberpunk? No. Stacking Cyberpunk is a skill I still haven't mastered. Yeah? Good for you. I reckon that's you know, viewed as one of the far less scummy ways to beat a level. Not that how scummy it is actually matters, as long as you win and, you know, aren't wholly dependent on things that would result in you losing in something else, like I constantly am. Like, dependent on my view that timings of anything other than very fast units is impossible. Because, am I right? Time Cat Machine correctly. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? I'm not. But, you know. I was thinking about that, by the way. About Old Queen. I think I might actually have to break out some talents. So, if anyone wants to suggest some talents that I might use on there, or if Matama would be useful breaking out on that one, I think the time has come where I'm not going to be able to do it in any other way. What's your favourite type of salad dressing? Oh, crikey. By the way, Wobb's here as well. Bring cost down Rocat. Oh, good idea. Yeah, I might do that one then. Yeah, salad dressing. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm a pleb, but to me, I don't know of different types of salad dressing. And I don't typically have salad. What I do with salad leaves, because I love to put them in things, because it makes me feel virtuous and healthy. I'm good about myself, even when maybe I shouldn't. Is just stuff them in sandwiches. And so I guess in that sense, I'll put mustard in the sandwich. If there's chicken, put honey and mustard. Glorious. Chutney, also. Lovely stuff. So I guess by default they're my salad dressings. Because I don't eat salad, but I'll put leaves in my sandwiches. I'm at a point where I like having leaves in the sandwiches more than not having them there. I would actively choose to put salad leaves in my sandwiches even if they didn't have a health benefit. So I guess, yeah. Lots of pepper. I'm not sure you can call that a dressing. Chutney. Mustard. Maybe honey sometimes. Which streams do you turn into YouTube videos? Ah, yes, good question, that one. Because it is pretty arbitrary, right? You're right. It's completely arbitrary. So, if I thought a stream was pretty good, oh yeah, heckin' pretty good, yeah. Or something important happened in it, for better or for worse. For better, being like, wow, these exciting, huge amounts of generosity, like the ginormous generosity stream, or whatever it's called. Or for worse, how not to stream Battle Cats, for example. These streams go up on the channel because they have something to say. This is, I guess, some phrasing I'm borrowing from my degree learning is if you're telling a story, you got to have something to say. It's got to be about something, more so than the face value of the story. There's what is it about, and then what is it really about. And if a stream is really about something else and there's an underlying theme, or maybe, you know, superficially a huge success or a huge failure that's interesting, I'll put it up. Otherwise I just leave it on Twitch because it's all effort to put the archives up, and equally I don't want people to be spending their time watching something that's quite bad overall and just unremarkable. There's lots of content that deserves their eyeballs better than an average Reddit stream. For example, I don't know, today's watching on YouTube for me is going to be Tom Scott, definitely. I mean, apparently he's uploaded another language files video. I love those, they're so exciting. In the meantime of that, Matt6478 has uploaded, brilliant, 20 bits for me. Thank you for those bits. Cracking. Right, let's come on, it's only 3 eyes. That's not very difficult setup, is it? You're not exactly a vision mixer. It's amazing. I actually managed to click the wrong one. Right, iPhone, there we go. I can't believe I thought about it and then closed off the wrong source. Why? I should probably be clear that links are disabled, so when you're linking me a video, I'm just seeing 3 asterisks. You will be able to link it to me in Discord. Stream die? No, crikey, I'm just not showing the ad because I don't need to give it free press. Oh, this is Camel, isn't it? It's pretty exciting. Yeah, it's definitely not Rip. I mean, crikey, you have shorter attention spans than me. I'm just turning off the ad. Anyway. Oh. No, excuse me. Right. What do you think about Matt Shea? I mean, you know, I was trying to help Matt, you know, back in the classic days when Battle Cats is a weekly occurrence, but I haven't. When Matt sort of stopped the weekly regular Battle Cats stuff, I kind of stopped watching, and I know he occasionally does stuff now, but it's sort of random, and so I haven't been coming back to watch it, and so as I don't know about it, I can't and shouldn't express opinion about it. Reggie, I think merely talent upgrades are not good enough for Old Queen, since that only applies to Row and Cyberpunk and you are mainly relying on islands. I'm afraid you have to unwillingly get stuff like level 50 Manic Island and level 40 Bahamut. Okay, well, oh, of course we have Ultramaxing that I forget about. I'm open to that. I think what I'll do first then, so let's set out a little brief plan of action, and then you can repeat it to me whenever Old Queen comes back. I'm going to cost down Talent Row, not too far, but, you know, a little bit. And then, if that doesn't work, I will upgrade my Manic Island to about level 43, 44, maybe, something like that. Or maybe like 1 level increments, or 2 level increments, and just try it like that. And then we'll beat it with the minimum upgrading of our stuff that's possible. I'm not going to do Bahamut at the moment. Although... No, I don't think I will. But we'll do Rocat talents first. We'll have a look at what all the talents are, but how far can you cost down Row? Can you go below 1,000? Because I don't think I want to go below 1,000, but maybe sort of roughly sitting around 1,000 might be a sensible one. Like Chillcat, I just talented that until it was usable and beneficial in a battle. I haven't exhausted all of its talents, and I'm happy with where it is. To 975, so we won't go down that far. We'll go a little bit over 1,000 then. Okay. Right. Okay, so I've been focusing on the chubby.b good. Let's just have a brief look at what was said in the chat in the meantime. Ultralan is Ultraman, isn't he just? How should I link the video to you? Discord would probably be most sensible. Join the Land of Spoon server, oh heck yeah. And then once you're in there, you should be able to DM me. DM me at any time you wish. I respond to DMs. I don't talk much on the server generally, but we'll talk to anyone who needs to talk to me or has a reason to ask me about something. Because, you know, otherwise I'm just randomly starting up a conversation, but I'm happy to engage in one that has been started by somebody else to me. So DM me, I guess, if you can. Is UK a nice place to live? Oh, that's an interesting one. I'll come to that after. Hello, Reggie. I'm new to your streams, but have watched your content for a while. Wow, thank you for watching my content for a while, and I hope you enjoy these streams. Right? This one is a bit more eventful than most. I'm playing levels a bit more regularly than you usually see. I will warn that to you, that this is about as much Battle Cats concentrated into a stream as you will ever get, and it will only go downhill from here. So if you enjoy this, there's no guarantee you'll enjoy the other ones, and I'm not selling it very well, but oh well, you know, honesty. Is the UK a nice place to live? I mean, like, it's a biased point of view. I mean, you know, oh, waves, nice. I thought of some places in the UK are really not nice places to live. And the place in the UK I do think nice places to live may just be bias. I mean, it's all arbitrary, isn't it? I'm going to have a UK supporting angle because I am British. I'm not sure I can answer that with any kind of objectivity particularly well at all. My personal opinion is that it is a nicer place to live than, for example, America, because we don't have the risk of getting shot or mortally offended by First Amendment rights and such. But, oh yeah, and also being able to go to university with a loan that you don't necessarily have to pay back instead of taking out a sort of loan shark loan to go to college that you need to go to. Those are my sort of 3 UK's better than America points. An interesting one Tom Scott brings up is plugs. We have safer plugs than America do. Apparently our 3rd point on our plugs is a really brilliant safety feature. Anyway, that's just completely my opinion, and apologies to America there. But it's completely arbitrary, right? I'm British, of course I'm going to think that British values are better. Well, I'm likely to anyway. Some people in Britain don't like America. Wait, some people, that's me. So, sorry America again. I like you, people here who are from America, and I don't want to say I don't like Americans, because that's not true, and I can't speak for all people in America. I'm speaking purely for generalised American values. Anyway, the point is that it's all arbitrary. I can't say the UK is a nice place to live. I think it's better ideologically in some other countries, so I think some other countries are a lot better than our one, ideologically. So yeah, I don't think I can answer that question particularly well, but it gave me an opportunity to say what I like about generalised British values, though there are some British values that I don't particularly like and think. Our media teacher in college pointed out that some of them are very patronising and are sort of very universal values. Actually, our politics teacher so we had to have a British values poster in the classroom, and he just let it fall off the wall and didn't put it back on, which was great fun. Because the British values posters was very patronising. They're sort of universal values of justice and being polite to people, you know, what any decent person should do. And they're like, these are British values. Like, no, they're not British values. You know, universal healthcare is, I think you could call that a British value, because you don't see it in America, for example. But you know, the rule of law is not a British value. Anyway. That's another thing. Actually, I could get into a debate about how I'm terrified by the partisan nature of the American judiciary and how I think it's a travesty that judges are appointed politically because they're supposed to be arbiters of whether you go to prison or not, which is very, very important and very scary to make a political matter, and how constitutional decisions are made completely on a political basis. So the president essentially decides what is constitutional, and, you know, there's supposed to be separation of powers. I'm going political here, but, you know, there's a lot of the American polity that it's called. I originally thought that was a typo, polity, but it's actually a word. It means the sort of political structures and stuff like that. Going off on one, really, but I like the British political values more than the American ones, so in that sense I like living in the UK more, but I'm not a good person to answer the question objectively, because I am British and have sort of been brought up to like the British angle more. For reference to Shibes and Cats, this is more like what streams are like usually. Me rabbiting on about politics and, you know, criticising American political culture. I again apologise to the Americans. It's not about you. I love you all. It's just I find some of the over-politicisation of the judiciary and everything is one's personal responsibility to gather money for, like healthcare in America, quite scary. And, you know, I will continue to find that scary. Here's another brilliant question, but I should probably go down the chat before I... There's so many brilliant questions, you know? Such brilliant ones. Okay, look, I'm gonna go through these questions, then I'm gonna rehydrate and come back for the final furlong of the stream, I think. Okay, Reggit, are you a simp? Sorry for caps. You know, I was talking to mate about this. Like, I wouldn't have heard of this term at all if it wasn't for briefly going back to pyrocynical. I don't think so, because I don't part with my money for anyone, least of all e-girls. So no. Do you have any big videos you have been working on? Yes, actually, I do have a project I'm working on. It's not Battle Cats. but it's one that in a field I take interest in, and I think it might turn out to be enjoyable. It might be that none of you watch it, but yes, thank you for asking. Great question. Love the interest you have in sort of a vague goings on that doesn't have any physical form yet. Yes, I am working on something. That isn't the reason that like videos aren't coming out. That's just a combination of university work and my lack of productivity and laziness. So, you know, that's part of my fault and not because I'm working on something. I could be getting videos out, I'm just bad at productivity. Let's be honest here. Here's a question I love. Have you ever edited a video and not uploaded it? Yes. Yes, I have. I don't like to do that because I like all aspects of the creative process to see some sort of light of day, which is why I, you know, make little deleted scenes videos that I've got a huge folder of somewhere. But I have occasionally made videos that I'm like, this is really bad. You know, there's the occasional edited video that hasn't gone up for other reasons, like All I Want for Christmas is Ew, which got blocked on copyright grounds. Then there's my Latin GCSE experience, which I said I'd make way back when I hadn't got permission from Ponos to monetize Battle Cats yet, but by the time I did, making that sort of didn't really matter anymore. And then there are ones that I just didn't really see any point of uploading. Those being Star Wars reviews, both of them, actually. I did one for Rogue One, and one for how much I dislike The Last Jedi, which, you know, I might still make into a thing because I do have issues with that film. I really, really despise it. But yes, tea is a British value. Brilliant. Yeah, so yeah, there have been a couple of things. There have been a couple of things that I've made and not brought out because I thought these are pointless. I'm actually doing a degree in, you know, film and TV, and yet, you know, the review was sort of really badly structured and not sort of very well analysed at all. I was like, oh yeah, I like that. What happened there? Well, you know, you think where roughly that happened. Oh, I quite like that. It was just really quite bad, so I didn't make that. Tea over coffee. I mean, it's perfectly fair enough, you know. You can like tea over coffee. I mean, I'm drinking a tea this stream. I like both, so, you know, there we go. The smell of coffee is still godlike. Here's an interesting thing, right? Something I'd love to talk about at some point at more length is wanting to like things. Coffee was something I previously wanted to like because I loved the smell and hated the taste, but I found out that was because I was putting milk in it, and I don't like coffee with milk in it. I think black coffee is godlike, and I love it. I love the stuff. But yeah, I do agree. Largely, the smell of coffee is better than the taste of coffee, and it's sort of an idea, isn't it? Like your morning coffee. Like you'd love to love coffee, but some people just find it disgusting, and that's fair enough. Equally, though, it might be because you're drinking instant coffee, and I think instant coffee is absolutely revolting. But if you've tried, you know, non-instant coffee and you still don't like it, that's perfectly fair enough. Right, going down the chat. Regit's a simp for Yuri. Brilliant, yeah, true. I'm not giving her any money, though, to be fair. Chat, no! I've lost my place! Don't do that. No! You scumbag, stop! Hang on. It's alright. Reggie, are you going to do a face reveal? I once promised that I'd do one at 100,000 subscribers. Yeah, I don't want to do it, but I promised, so I think you'll all regret asking. Oh, Sir Seal. Sir Seal's just an enemy, isn't it? It's a pretty standard part of Battle Cats. Speaking of Star Wars, happy Star Wars Day, DJ points out. Oh yeah, of course. Look at that, briefly mentioning Star Wars, and it's actually got proper significance, because it is, of course, May the 4th. There we go. Exciting stuff. Rogue One is the best new Star Wars movie. Changed my mind. It's my second favourite, but I absolutely adore The Force Awakens, and I know people will take issue with that, but it's up there with my very favourite films. I love The Force Awakens. I think it's beautifully structured and realised and paced fantastically, and like a proper romping adventure. And then we're brought crashing down to earth with the true misery that is The Last Jedi. And in that meantime, we got 10 Bits cheered by Penguins Gamer. Hi Reggie, you're going to continue Doki Doki anytime soon? That's another thing I need to get back to doing, right? I have no excuse for the absence of it. So yes, I should be getting back to it, and it will be got back to. Coffee's too bitter for me. Bitterness is especially a note of instant coffee. Instant coffee is horribly bitter. You usually get more mellow and nuanced coffees when you use ground filtered coffees. Try that if you've just been drinking instant, and you might like it more. If you tried coffee that's not instant and you don't like it, there are some roasts of coffee where I think, so the lighter the coffee is roasted, the less bitter it tends to be. Ask for a light roast and you might end up liking it. That would be my advice there, but you don't have to try and like coffee, If you could only drink one, would you drink coffee or tea for the rest of your life? Coffee feels more special to me, and I'd use a combination of decaf and caffeinated so that I didn't, completely destroy myself with a horrendous caffeine tolerance. I've been talking. Look at me being like, oh yes, I'm going to play Battle Cash lots here, but we just got engaged in just like so much interesting conversation. Rise of Skywalker was trash. You see, I thought Rise of Skywalker had too much put into it, and I take issue with the main exciting reveal of the film being at the start of it, which rendered it completely unexciting, and then I think it forced so much stuff into one film where it could have had far fewer storylines and been much more effective. But hey, at least it's better than The Last Jedi, am I right? Oh my god, so many good questions! I love it. I love the good questions. I'm so sorry that we're just not going to be playing Battle Cats the rest of this. I said I was going to take a break, right, and fill up my drink, but that's just not going to be the case, is it? Because with such interesting stuff is happening and such interesting points of conversation. So I really apologise for this. At least we've got a subchapter done. Reggie, what do you think of the wrong 5G coronavirus conspiracy theory? I've wanted to answer this question, right? A lot of time with conspiracy theories, I think, look, it's fine if you think of this conspiracy because you're not really harming anyone else. Flat earthers, for example, who cares? If you think the Earth's flat, whatever, doesn't matter. You're not really harming anyone by thinking the Earth's flat, because you're not going to be able to push anyone off the side of the Earth because, well, the Earth's not flat. Anyway, it doesn't matter if you think that, you're not really affecting anyone else. 5G conspiracy theorists are affecting other people. They are vandalising 5G masts, which is, well, it's vandalism and crime and bad. Their conspiracy is having an actual negative impact. I am open to people believing what they believe, because if you believe in a conspiracy, it's not so easy as to just say, I don't believe that anymore, because you strongly believe in that. And if you're not affecting anyone else with your conspiracy, fine. But 5G conspiracy theorists are. So I really kind of... I really dislike the 5G conspiracies for that reason. I'm a small YouTuber, we need to collab. I mean, I thank you for your interest in doing so, but I must warn you, collaborating with someone, if this happened, and I probably shouldn't get your hopes up, it probably won't, I apologise, but actually collaborating with someone isn't going to get people interested in you. I got a mention in a Match Day video once that had, I don't know, probably 100,000 views. I'm like, thank you to Regit for helping me beat this level. Without him, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Thanks, Regit. Or something like that, approximation. And nothing happened to my channel. No benefit at all. People are there for the original creator, and the sad truth is that they really don't particularly care about who they collaborate with, unless the person they collaborate with is is bigger than the YouTuber that they're watching. Like, I don't know, if I collaborated with Tom Scott, there's my dream there. Although I don't know why I'd have a reason to, because Tom Scott's just infinitely more intelligent than I am and I have nothing to bring to the table. But people be like, oh wow, Tom Scott. But if they're smaller, the sad truth is people don't care about the smaller party and the collab. And they just... It won't benefit you. Now, I am happy for you to promote the name of your channel in this chat if you do so kindly and politely, and hopefully people might have a look, because I understand it's very difficult to get exposure, and that's why I'm happy for people to promote themselves here, as long as they don't do it in a spammy way. Just be aware links are disabled, so just give the name of your channel. But yeah, sadly, people aren't going to take interest from you in the collab. You have to cultivate your own audience, which isn't something you can just do, which is why I'm trying to do my bit by letting people promote themselves here whenever they want to. Do you like to work? Do you like to? I don't work at BBC News. Would you like to work at BBC News or become a rich YouTuber? I mean, I'd love to become a subsiding. No, that's land falling into the sea. Sufficing. I'm not thinking of the right word. Anyway, making enough money to live off YouTube would be lovely, and that's all I need, really. I don't think I'd be good at BBC News because I'm actually quite bad with facts and research. I dislike research. Facts are great, you know. I like data now and then, but I'm bad at finding and understanding both. I deal more in opinions because they're fluffy, subjective, and your opinion can't really be called wrong. So I'd probably be quite bad at BBC News. All the same, I would love a TV job. That would be pretty exciting. And, you know, maybe presenter and something less factual. Pretty interesting. I'd love that, to be fair. Betrayal. I thought you loved tea. I love tea. I think I find coffee more special. Probably because I, you know, don't drink it as much. It's just pretty exciting. Coffee. Right? Right. Funny that Reggie gets no questions on non-Battlecat streams, but the second he decides to actually play, all the questions are amazing. Yes. Yes, isn't that just true? Isn't that true? Oh yeah, DJ brings up a fair point. Astronomers are angry. Yes, flat earthers are going to cause annoyance to astronomers. That is a fair point, and they are people who aren't themselves. And by they are people, astronomers are people who aren't the flat earth conspiracy theorists. So that's a fair point in opposition to that. But in terms of physical damage, that's why I think 5G conspiracy theorists are far worse than sort of closet conspiracy theorists who just have an opinion that's different about something else. So in the scale of conspiracy theorists, it's sort of flat earth at the bottom, who cares? It's just an opinion about the earth. It's not going to really make any difference whether we think the earth's flat or not. Anti-vaxxers, dangerous if they can get people to think that they shouldn't vaccinate people. But is it likely they're going to be able to change people's minds? Well, I don't know. That's open for debate. I've got to say, I don't know, Les. I was watching a Zuma Says video about using ignorance as a weapon. I feel like I probably do that quite a lot. Anyway, as long as anti-vaxxers aren't convincing people, well, they can think what they think to an extent, as long as they don't have children, because then their children suffer out of it. So anti-vaxxers, pretty dangerous. More dangerous than that, 5G conspiracy theorists, destroying infrastructure and possibly risking people's lives by deliberately flouting lockdown because they think that it's a whole government conspiracy. But I think, you know, in your flavours of conspiracy, flat Earth is the one we really don't need to care about because, you know, it's just an opinion about the shape of the Earth. It's really not going to harm anybody. And I apologise to astronomers that I'm, you know, allowing... I mean, I don't have choice over whether flat earthers exist or not, but in that sense, I apologise to astronomers that I don't really mind about them existing. Delete notification video? I have. I don't really want the views, I want some Battlecats content, so my friends respect me. Well, make Battlecats content. Get something like OBS, steep learning curve on OBS, but will allow you to record anything like that, or screen recording app on your phone, and make Battle Cats content. Nothing's stopping you. When's the next episode of the BC News at 6? Oh, you remember that? That was just some random thing I once said. The Battle Cats News at 6, because I said it like a news thing. It's like Battle Cats News at 6. Oh, that's brilliant. I love that so much. Thank you for reminding me of that. That's fantastic. Brilliant. Reddit chat show would be amazing. I'd love that. Thrilling Wednesday is basically our version of that. It's a shame we couldn't get all these brilliant questions then, but I thought I'd take advantage of them now. Because I answered one and then I just got more and more interesting questions and it just kept going. I deal with opinions because they're fluffy and subjective. Exactly. That's why I do a sort of essay opinion subject rather than like dealing in facts. Reggit, were you a nerd when you were in middle school? No. Middle school, which is what, the earlier years of secondary education for us? No, not particularly. Mostly actually just sort of arguing against the way the school operated. So I was probably not really a sort of teacher's pet nerd or anything like that. Anti-vaxxers are usually parents, and unfortunately they have a decent following. Well, yeah, that is the worrying thing. When I started saying what I said about them, I realised it's probably not useful because anti-vaxxers do have a lot of influence, and that's a scary thing. And if they're able to put their children at risk, that's a problem. I think the only safe way to be an anti-vaxxer is just to not have any children and not express your opinion, which a conspiracy theorist is unlikely to do. So maybe there's an argument for saying they're even more dangerous than 5G conspiracists, even if they don't cause physical vandalism. They're causing vandalism to herd immunity, aren't they? What do you think about the UK government response against coronavirus? Oh, crikey, more epic questions. I'm not going to give an opinion on the medical side because obviously I don't know stuff about medical stuff, but I think the economic side has not been good. Especially the reduction of interest rates. That has hit me hard in my savings, and I'm very unhappy about that because it was meant to increase investment in society and bring down mortgage interest rates, except it hasn't. Rates for those have just gone. So what we're left with is no affordable mortgages and no good savings rates. And I think that's pretty disgusting, and it really irritates me. And my finances are taking a huge hit because of that. The possibility of them increasing anyway. Just learnt that my current account, which was doing me quite well, is going to get its interest rate destroyed. And I'm very unhappy about that. And I really think they shouldn't have reduced the interest rate. They had no good reason to do so. And any possible aim for it has shown to not have actually worked. And that upsets me. But what can I do about it except for move my money where the market treats it best, but there aren't any places. Because of base rate change, all the banks feel that they are perfectly entitled to whack down their interest rates, and I can't do anything about it because they're all reducing their interest rates. Very sad indeed. I think because it starts from when a parent were to hear about very tiny chance for an injury, it spiraled out. I think anti-vax movement, correct me if I'm wrong, came from a discredited study that suggested vaccines caused autism. Which is like, I don't want my child to get autism from a vaccine. And people are like, oh no, the study wasn't particularly accurate or, very conclusive, and you probably shouldn't listen to it. I don't want my child getting autism off the vaccine. I'm going to tell other people not to vaccinate their children. And that's what it came out of. A discredited study. So, yeah, anti-vaxxing is I think, very dangerous. But, I think we should focus on that a lot more than we do on flat earthers. Just leave them alone to think what they want. Their opinion about the earth isn't going to affect our lives. Who cares? Reggit, please watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Oh, I should probably also clarify I'm not a flat earther. I'm not defending them because I'm a flat earther. I'm defending them because their probably incorrect opinion doesn't affect our lives. I didn't even realise JoJo was real. I thought it was constructed just for memes, for people to say, is that a JoJo reference? Turns out, from watching a Chawsey video, that's a real thing. Who knew? Who knew? Exactly. Creekman489 brings about the point of herd immunity, which I've made brief reference to. We need a huge amount of people vaccinated, otherwise diseases can run rife, which is actually what's happened with measles here in the UK. We're no longer considered to, I can't remember what the term is, but there was a sort of general herd immunity term that's like measles aren't a problem, but now we've had to revoke that term because not enough people are vaccinated against it to guarantee that we have herd immunity against it, which is quite concerning. So yeah, I will upscale my previous suggestion that anti-vaxxers are in the middle to probably being the top problem. I mean, overall it is people's health, and although physical vandalism of 5G masks is a problem, it's not as much of an impact on people's lives, which is probably more important. But then equally you could say, if the 5G conspiracists carry on thinking what they think and acting how they act, because the acting is worse than the thinking, well, 5G masks are getting built and they're gonna keep being destroyed, and then there will eventually be huge economic damage. Reggie, do you like Chawsey? You know I do. We love Chawsey. Problem is that even if you could get autism from vaccines, is it worth risking the life of your child? Well, that's a very important philosophical debate, right? You know, surely you should value the life of your child over what illnesses or mental illnesses the child is going to have. And, you know, it's a fair point. A debate I'm not going to get into, but I think that's a fair point to consider. You know, you should probably consider the life of the child generally over if you think there's a small chance of vaccine causing them problems. But, you know, the study's discredited. The vaccines are very unlikely to cause people those problems. And I, for one, am a huge advocate of the power of vaccines.